What's up, guys? It's me, the ALE Double X Prince, here to give you my review of Deadpool 2. Yes, for those of you new to the channel, welcome, of course. I've got a lot of new subscribers, so thank you very much for your support. Let's get on with Deadpool 2. Spoilers ahead. Yeah, this movie's been out for the whole weekend, and it's been killing it at the box office, and I'm pretty damn excited because this movie does hold up. It's just really, really entertaining, and I just had a blast watching the movie. Now, is this movie better than the first Deadpool? And that's always going to be a question that people will always ask. And recently, sequels haven't been that great holding up with the original, and it got to the point where I started lowering my expectations for this movie. And I gotta say, yeah, this movie doesn't hold up like the first one does. Like that one had more rewatchability. For a guy who I've actually seen this movie twice already. And the first time I saw it, I had a blast, but rewatching it, I already kind of knew what was gonna happen. So with that rewatchability, I was like, because when the first one, I've seen it multiple times and I get it something new out of it. I'm getting excited about it, and that's kind of like the big issue with this one. Um, it's not as rewatchable. It's not as enjoyable. But it's still a ton of fun, and I feel like that's all I wanted out of the film, just to have fun with the film. I didn't want like this like big epic masterpiece like people expect. Like this is clearly for the fans, not for other people. And yeah, I really thought that this movie was a lot of fun. The movie kind of spoiled. I mean, the trailers kind of spoiled the whole X-Force situation because people thought this was gonna be a straight up X-Force movie, and it wasn't. Because well, they all die. Let's say at least Bill Skarsgård, Terry Crews, Brad Pitt as the Vanisher. I told you there were spoilers, but yeah, they really don't do much. Except die. They basically form an X Force and they die, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna lead to a future movie down the road. Um, but basically, the plot here is that Vanessa and Deadpool want to start a family, and unfortunately, some guys that Deadpool didn't kill in an earlier mission kill Vanessa, and then they play like these James Bond type credits, but then they were like, did they actually kill her? Holy shit. From the director that killed John Wick's dog. You know, it was like a super sad moment because Vanessa was one of the standouts in the movie. The first one. This one, she dies right away. But she plays a big role in the movie despite what everybody else thinks. So, basically, there's that of, basically, Deadpool losing Vanessa and he's trying to die, but he can't. And even in the beginning of the movie, he already makes fun of Wolverine or makes fun of the movie Logan because like, oh, you're just rated R because I chose it to steal in my spotlight. And he's like, yeah, guess what, Wolverine, I'm gonna die in this movie too, and we'll get to that. And I don't know, I just had a blast with it. His interactions with Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead are still off the chain. They're hardly in this movie, which is kind of a bummer because those were my two of my favorite characters from the original. And some of the characters that did come back, I did not like. Like you could take off T.J. Miller out of this, and no one would give a shit because he was just kind of the. I mean, no one likes T.J. Miller anyway, so you know, ever since the Emoji Movie, and I guess he got accused of some shit like everybody in Hollywood apparently. Yeah, T.J. Miller was kind of lame in this movie. And he was pretty funny. He had like one funny scene when Deadpool loses his legs, and basically he's like, "Look at that! He's walking. He's learning how to walk." It was like fucking funny, but they could have easily had anybody else say that. Um, but Dope Pender was a highlight. Definitely, he's like, "Come on, let me be part of the team." And when they actually get Peter from the trailers. This regular dude like, oh, I don't have powers, I just saw the ad, and Deadpool's like, you're in, even though he doesn't have powers, and Dope Pender loses his shit, which is funny. Basically in this movie, Deadpool becomes an X-Men, which oddly enough, the freaking first class cast um appear as a cameo. Like they had James McAvoy. Obviously, then I have Jennifer Lawrence because fuck her. That's why. Um, they had Quicksilver there. They had a couple. They had basically the originals, Beast Boy and stuff like that from not the originals, but the new characters, but the new versions of them, even though they're from the 80s. So, anyways, they show up for a little cameo just to prove that now they have a budget now, and basically the plot here is that this kid, um, Cable wants to kill a kid named Starfire because he becomes evil in this present point, and he he just goes evil because of how people treat him and shit. But he was gonna like I don't know, he was going ape shit, like he was about to burn a fucking orphanage house. Like I don't know, I didn't like this kid that much. I'm gonna be real. I didn't like Juliet Dennison in this movie. I liked him in Hunt for the Willow People. I did not like him here. He was pretty lame. Like I was kind of rooting for Cable for him to die. I don't know, just because he was like such an asshole and like I know that he's young and they're trying to play that story out, but I don't know, he was a fucking asshole. And I don't know, he just wasn't that likable. Like I could totally be on Deadpool's side too, and he's like, don't just get away from me. And I don't know, with this not being directed by Tim Miller, and instead they got David Leitch from John Wick and Atomic Blonde, you could tell this is a much different movie. Just the as far as like the way it's told, because like David Leitch finds a way to make the action was spot on. It was awesome, but it wasn't that like the story just wasn't great. It wasn't as creative as the one with Tim Miller. So there was that. By the way, Cable, you know, he's cool. He's kind of boring. I'll say that. I still like Josh Brolin as Cable. That was a pretty good casting call, but he was much better as Thanos, which I'll get out of the way. Yeah, he was better than Thanos. I mean, Thanos was better than Cable. But yeah, the chemistry with Deadpool and Cable, I really enjoyed, and I thought they had a good connection, them hating each other and then becoming friends, and I totally can't wait for a future X-Force movie, because from what it looks like, they're going to do like a big universe with the X-Force. They might have standalones for Cable, Domino, who, by the way, Domino was easily one of the biggest breakouts for me. Zazie Beetz she did a fantastic job as Domino. Well, she didn't do a fantastic job, but she was one of the highlights of the movie. And a lot of people are just being like, she wasn't that great. Yeah, and you could say that, but I don't know. She entertained the hell out of me. I don't know what everybody's take is. Like, everybody always tries to find something negative. If something good happens with somebody, then somebody else attacks it. I don't know. How did I forget this? The fucking Juggernaut teams up with this Fire Fist. Juggernaut, they got him right. They really fucked up with X3, and which is probably one of the worst ones in the series. I really enjoyed that. Had a blast with that. Overall, Deadpool was really good, of course. And the reason why, I remember watching this top to bottom, I had a ton of fun, and I was like, yeah, I totally see this movie being really good. And then they kind of pulled a 22 Jump Street in the sense that the credits were better than the actual movie. Basically, the credits is, well, first of all, Cable kills Deadpool by mistake because he has this neck brace that makes him lose his powers, and Cable wanted to shoot the kid, but Deadpool sacrifices himself. So he meets up with Vanessa, but eventually Cable, he reverses time, and they basically do the whole final battle at the end. Um, and basically there's that. And Deadpool gets shot, but he put a coin that Vanessa gave him, and he aimed at that correctly. So Cable's stuck in this timeline for a while. So that was great. Meaning that we probably will get the X-Force. And then Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and Yokio. I forgot her name, but well, first of all, Negasonic Teenage, you know the rest. She's going she's a lesbian and she's dating this Asian girl who was a pretty cool character, but we didn't get enough of her. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have her do shit in like future X-Men movies. Same with Negasonic. But yeah, they have the team. This is basically a family movie, what they did, which is fine. But the best part about this whole movie, let's get into it, the credits. This shit was insane. So, Negasonic Teenage and her girlfriend, I'll just say that, they fixed the freaking watch to reverse time, and then Deadpool has it, and they're like, oh, we made a mistake. So sure enough, Deadpool saves Vanessa, saves Peter after all the X-Force members die other than Domino, and basically he saves those guys' lives, and then he goes back in time to X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yes, that garbage movie. Wolverine and fake Deadpool fight, but then Deadpool shoots the cool Deadpool shoots the fake Deadpool in the head. Basically, I'm just fixing the timeline, and it kind of did fix the timeline. Granted, yeah, basically it did, because if you think about it, technically, X-Men and X-Men 2 don't exist. The more you embrace it, the easier you'll sit through this. But I'm glad that they finally fixed the timeline for good. And then we close out with Ryan Reynolds reading a script for Green Lantern. Deadpool kills Ryan Reynolds. He shoots him in the head. You're welcome, Canada. And so that was this. I don't know. This credit sequence was so much fun. The whole saving Vanessa, a lot of people would say that it's debatable, considering it makes the whole movie pointless. Which, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's Deadpool. It's the character that matters. So anyways, this whole thing was fun. Apparently there was going to be a final scene where Deadpool kills baby Hitler. They even talked about it. I'm pretty sure they're going to give it to us on the Blu-ray. But I understand how they didn't put it on the actual movie, because it would have been super controversial. And I understand that. So I don't really have a problem with that. If we do get it on the Blu-ray, I would be cool with it, but I could live without it. Yeah, I was really excited. This was a great movie. I had a ton of fun. Not as great as the first one. And yeah, these sequels, I don't know. We have these expectations. I don't know, for some reason, every trilogy follows this trend. The first one was a surprise, amazing movie. The second one was everything you wanted, everything you thought the first one was going to be, if you thought it was going to fail. It's kind of sloppy, but it's still enjoyable. It was just an alright movie. And then the third film is when they get everything back on track. I don't know how the fuck superhero movies do that, other than Captain America and the Dark Knight trilogy. So I don't know how they do this, but it happens. I don't know how the fuck they do this. So anyways, I'm cool with what we got. This is a fun. I had a blast with this. It's like a solid B movie. I really enjoyed it. That's it. It's me, the ALE Double X Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And until then, I'm out.